All right. We have a NFL draft in the books. We have a GM's draft ready to start here in the next couple of days. We are in that little piece of limbo where we know landing spots, and everyone is frantically trying to update their boards and see what the hell is happening in the crazy drafts that have happened already. So we're going to contribute to the craziness. We're going to do a first round mock here live on the show and see how these landing spots have changed some of our feelings on players, and frankly, how some of the changing of owners has changed how we feel about some of these players. We got the Eagles, we got the Panthers, and we got the Broncos. With me, the Vikings, gentlemen. It's almost here, or we're almost there.
Indeed, we're finally done with Rich Eisen busting nuts over Michigan players on the draft.
Yes, that was awkward.
Hey, enjoy it while it lasts, guys. There's no more Mike Mayock going, well, here's a guy.
Well, we don't need that. Daniel Jeremiah's got that on lock now. I still prefer the NFL Network version over the Mel Kiper ESPN version, though.
Yeah, we had the ESPN one on to the NFL draft, the NFL Network one. I made the wrong call, but these things happen. Anyways, so we'll share the sheet after. You know what? Let's see. I think I can share that while we're going here. I think I've done that before. Share screen, share. Google Sheets. Yeah, there we are. All right. So we'll go through here. James won the lotto beforehand. Requirement to take the mock 101 is you cannot have owned the 101 this offseason. And sorry, James, you won that draw. And then we went in reverse order of who's owned it. So since RJ had it first, he's the second pick. I had it next, so I'm the third pick, and Bill is the fourth pick. We will continue and do that till we've gotten through the first 32 picks. So without further ado, James, do you want to kick us off with a surprise pick here?
Yeah, I got a big surprise for everybody. It's Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's pretty chalk at this point, especially in this format, the way things fell.
Yeah, he's only got Odunze, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, DeAndre Swift, Herbert, that Roshan Johnson guy. They don't have anything to support him there. It's going to be awful.
They are screwed. All right. RJ, what are you thinking?
So, with Commanders, he needs a lot of things.
He's a division rival. You could just say his team sucks.
No. So, he's betting on Daniel Jones right now. I think with Daniel Jones not having anybody breathing down his neck, he's probably just going to go Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know if that's the wisest decision, but I can see this happening.
I can see Giants breaking a keyboard as soon as he sees that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I get that, but never mind. I will continue and soldier on. Giants has back-to-back picks here, so I'm going to make the easy one and let Bill make the hard one. There's no way that, as a Giants fan, Giants isn't walking away with Malik Neighbors. So I'm going to go ahead and take him for Giants here, and let Bill figure out what Giants is going to do with his second pick.
So I don't think that he likes Jaden very much. I also don't know if he values Drake at this spot, considering he has another one coming up in a handful of picks here. I think he double dips on the receiver still. I think he goes Rome.
Two Bears offensive players in the first 4 picks of our draft. Have we learned nothing?
We have not.
No, not even a little bit. It is full Michael Scott. We are ready to get hurt again. James, what's Bill gonna do?
You know, this is a tough one for Bill. Do you actually have a quarterback right now, Bill?
I have Sam Howell and Mac Jones.
This is not a tough one for Bill.
Okay, then that got a lot easier. I'll take Jaden Daniels. I'll just stick with the running floor, and he's got some good pieces around him. We'll just hope it works out.
No doubt. So we've got 3 receivers. We've got 2 quarterbacks. We've got the Seahawks up. RJ, what are you doing with them? And I'm sorry, I keep giving you the hard ones.
Oh, no, it's fine. I don't mind this. So this is an interesting one.
There's really only one choice left here, right?
No, I mean, Seahawks can take a quarterback and try to move Justin Herbert. He can go wide receiver. He's pretty good on pretty much all offensive positions. So he has a lot of flexibility here.
We have Kyle Draymond Pitts.
I'm going to take Drake May.
Ooh.
I think that allows Seahawks to go in with a potential starting quarterback or somebody that will start later on in the season, and he can freely shop Herbert while also accumulating wins.
Yeah, and at the very least, if this allows him to shop Herbert without needing a quarterback back in the deal, which makes this a whole lot easier based off of how people value probably the quarterbacks he would want back. So definitely opens up some flexibility. Giants thinks for about 15 seconds and then draft Xavier Worthy.
Ooh,
that is not what I thought was going to happen, but okay.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I did not learn my lesson from Sky Moore, and I don't think it's the same kind of player. It's a different player, different draft capital, different everything about him. I don't want to miss Henry twice. I don't. So, it's expensive. It's not where we thought he was going to go, but are we going to miss Henry a second time is the question. And I don't think Giants will.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this also very easy for Colts then 8, and that's just Brock Bowers.
All right, James, what do you think the other side of the Colts equation will be here?
Well, it's just like when I was teasing him this year about not knowing who Marvin Harrison was before he traded his first rounder away. He doesn't know who the quarterbacks are in next year's class, so he's just going to take J.J. McCarthy. He's going to say he's in Minnesota.
He is in Minnesota.
He'll catch the ball. He'll make him look good. Not thinking Jameis Winston. It just chuck you.
Again, I think this will be fun because if that happens, I think there's probably a conversation between Pats and Colts to see if Pats wants McCarthy. But nonetheless, RJ, you were up at 10, and Pats has 3 consecutive picks here. So this will be fun. You, Bill, and I will get to figure out how he's, keystoning his team.
Oh man, this is a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, when Xavier Worthy goes off the board, Pats goes crazy, and then about 13 seconds after he goes on the clock, he takes Brian Thomas Jr. And then Mike, who's the next one?
All right. 1 second. Jacksonville. Let's see. Checking my board. Oh, yeah. I think it's time for RB1 probably to go. At the 11th pick in the draft, Jonathan Brooks. The way the new head coach there in Carolina used Rachaad White is exactly how you should use Jonathan Brooks in the NFL. Just don't second guess this. Just, he's going to get that job from Miles Sanders in about 15 seconds.
Is there concern that he's still injured, so they might lean on Chuba for some amount of the beginning of the season?
Right. This will be a mid-season takeover potentially situation, but if Pats is tanking, then less points is fine. But I do agree that it's not going to be immediate.
I think I was asking more on along the lines of, is he the running back one? Do we know he's the running back one?
I think Callahan is it Callahan? No, he's in Tennessee, the head coach.
The head coach is Dave Canales.
Yeah, thank you. I think Canales is either going to run RBBC or he's just going to let the best guy play.
Okay.
I think he wants to establish a tough mentality.
Well, Miles was trash, and Chuba tried his best, but neither of them are very good.
Yeah, Miles might not even make it out of camp if Jonathan's healthy.
No. But I know Chuba is a favorite, so he will always be in the mix.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, oh God. So I have the very hard one. So, based on the assumption of just what Pats needs to grab right now, he still needs a quarterback. Whether or not he wants to play right away or not, that's up to him. But draft capital purposes, no, I was going to go Penix, but Bonus is fine too. Yeah, I think he would go Penix because he might be looking towards next year more than this year.
I mean, that is an interesting gambit, too, because, as mentioned, there are a number of teams that are positioning as, for next year. Myself, Miami, a couple of others. Pats could mess around and end up with 6 or 7 wins just by, 140, 150 points a week in the AFC East this year. So, might not be too bad.
Yeah.
I guess that's all we have to say about that. James.
Yeah, I mean, if he was here,
was doing at 13.
Wow.
This is where it starts getting hard, it looks like.
Yeah, it's definitely getting more interesting because this becomes that next tier of receivers versus potential RB2, depending on how you value the next RB. Definitely feels too early still to go defense or, anything else. We're in no man's land. So I'll go Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman?
Josh Allen, big boy. Yeah.
He probably is the right guy as things are flowing right now in ADP. So probably the right safe pick. All right, RJ. Jags is sitting here, and he's got probably 2 options. What's the guy that makes sense on the board? And what's the guy that protects a potential exposed asset he has from the draft?
I don't know. I can tell you what I would assume he's gonna pick here. He needs a linebacker, but I don't know if he can justify taking a linebacker this early.
Janice can justify anything he wants because he doesn't talk to any of us.
He should take a wide receiver. So I'm gonna take Ricky Pearsall.
There you go.
Ugh. All right. Yeah, this is easy.
Yeah, you went to the.
It's the 15th pick in the draft, and I'm getting a top 12 quarterback taken in the top 12 of the draft in the 15th pick of ours. Yeah. Thank you very much. Your turn, Bill.
So, Falcons, man, like, I really wonder where he would go here, but I still think it's too early for defense. I think there's no need of his on offense like stands out except for tight end, but it's way too early to go with anybody else at tight end. Let's see here. Let's just do this. Let's do Lad McConkey.
All right, James, you got the first of the Commanders double dip, 17 and 18. You got Marvin at 2. Unfortunately for him, Bo did not quite make it down to quarterback, so he's going to have to keep rolling with Daniel Jones. What are you doing to fill out the rest of his team?
Oh, we're swinging for the fences. We're going to take Mr. Diabetes. We're going to go with Adonai Mitchell and hope that we can keep him regulated and well behaved because we need all the offense we can get.
And, hey, and if you dare say anything bad about Adonai, his GM he's going to yell at you. As someone who's using the "I'm a man, I'm 40" meme a good number of times this weekend, I think his GM kind of put a new one out there for that. All right, RJ.
All right, he has two wide receivers already.
It does.
All right, we're gonna go running back 2. Trey Benson.
Oh, Mike gets both Chargers picks.
He's going to love me for this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
don't like that.
I love this pick if you're building, because Jalen Wright is the Raheem Mostert replacement. This is Mostert's last year. He's going to start breaking down and slowing down a little bit, and Jalen's going to step right in for those carries, and that's the primary role in this offense. Achane has been fantastic and has just home run speed, but so does Jalen. And the idea is Achane is the complementary back to Mostert right now, and that's what Wright's going to take over.
Yeah, this was the saddest landing spot for me in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I
wouldn't watch Wright land anywhere.
I like the assessment. I don't have him as my running back 3, but I do agree with everything. There's a couple more outlooks that I like a little bit better.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. So who is it again? We got Commanders. And he's got 2 receivers
Again.
and a running back. Well,
Get him a cornerback.
Kool-Aid.
It really needs that, I promise.
Let's finish out the round 1 receivers. Let's give him Leggett.
Ew.
Hey, he's got to go at some point, and dude has nothing. Would you rather have Leggett or your RB3 or 4 at this point?
When I saw him go at, was he the last pick?
He was 132. They traded up to 32.
My first thought was like, he's probably going to go later than that in our draft.
I don't know about that one. Possibly. Talk about a steal at 201 though.
All right.
I wouldn't say that. 202 maybe.
All right, James, what's Lions doing at 21?
Lions is a tough one.
You know, this is a team that's been rebuilding for a long time. You know, you would kind of want an RB here so he can start being competitive. But I still think he should probably push for another year. Not a single defensive player has been drafted. I can have whatever defensive player I want. So I think I'll stick with that, and I'll go with Latu.
Ooh.
Guess that's just DE here.
Yeah.
I forget. It was the Viking. No, the Vikings got.
Cool.
Didn't he go to Indy?
And that's right.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, Chargers. What's he taking? What's he need? He has Jalen Wright.
Is Bo Nix. He is building.
All right. Well, I didn't expect there to be these type of defensive players available now. So we're gonna go with Dallas Turner.
Oh, interesting.
I like
That boy is gonna be pissed. He is gonna be plain pissed next year.
My assumption is he just steps into the Danielle Hunter role and just feasts.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
It's fun. Must be fun to be a Vikings fan. All right, here come the Panthers picks, and it's time for me to take a player right now. There's no way in his right mind that he would take. We're gonna go with Roman Wilson.
Oh,
And it's one of those things that pre-draft, everyone kind of said, hey, there are a couple spots that whoever goes in there is going to be, bumped up in value. And it was the Jacksonville spot. It was the Kansas City spot. If it was a speedster like Worthy or Mitchell, it was the Buffalo spot, and it was the Pittsburgh. And Roman Wilson just screams Steeler wide receiver, and still is a third rounder, so I love it.
Mm-hmm. I'm very excited for him. And funny enough, I was going to take him at 24 here, but not now. So I'm going to go defense as well. I'm going to go with Edgerrin Cooper.
Love it.
I hate you. I was about to take that for Chargers because he's got to sit for a minute because he's behind Devondre Campbell and Clay Walker.
Campbell's in San Francisco.
Campbell left. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he steps into as the second interior linebacker along with Quay.
All right, James. Chargers is continuing to load up here.
We'll go Jalen Polk.
Fun. All right, RJ.
Bill, what have you taken so far?
I've been given a wide receiver, a quarterback, and that's it.
All right. So we're going to keep it on offense then.
Perfect.
There aren't a lot of like great choices, but we're going to go with somebody who stood out pre-draft, Malachi Corley.
I wasn't sure whether I loved or hated the landing spot.
Not a huge fan, but he's gonna find his way into a role there, and probably, like when it's all said and done, he'll be the wide receiver 2 there.
Yeah, this is a fun one. It's definitely too early for that. Oh, how is he not gone yet? Blake Corum.
Great pick.
Fuck.
I will continue the running back run, and we will go with. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Give me 1 second. Marshawn Lloyd.
Again, I love that because it's going to take him a year and it's going to be so worth it.
All right, so this comes down to me. RJ will be playing the mind games because he's got the 201. All right, I can take an offensive piece here, but that 5th-year contract is expensive. We're talking also like the 7th receiver, 8th receiver, 5th, 6th running back. Like, I don't know if I want to go play with that contract when I could potentially still get the guy in 4 picks. So I'm going to stick with something that has a better 5th-year option to a degree and go with Jared Verse.
God damn it.
Where was he again?
Jared Verse went to LA Rams.
That's right.
All right. So now it's on the Ravens. I thought that was a fantastic pick.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't for me, just Verse at 29 is a fantastic one.
Yeah.
So there's 2 options with the Ravens. You can go running back, or you could probably go defensive end. It's tough because, like, running back, you're taking somebody that obviously isn't going to get a lot of opportunities. And 4th round running backs is basically what you're picking from. The last 1st round edge player is probably just going to end up being a defensive tackle. Yeah, I guess you have to gamble. We're going to go with Darius Robinson.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, we're going with the big man.
Yeah, there's a high likelihood that he ends up being a defensive tackle, and it feels worse for Ravens because then doesn't have any. He has Kobe Turner, but that's not great. So yeah, that's fine. That's
Yeah, but
good.
if you go D tackle, though, you could have Byron Murphy, who's at least got guys on line with him.
Yeah, I think it's best to just gamble that Robinson stays an edge, stays considered an edge.
All right, I'm between 2 here, and I think I'm gonna go safe here and let Bill make his pick with the other guy. I'm doing Junior Colson, linebacker. LA Chargers. Harbaugh gets his mic. The last time Harbaugh was in the NFL, he had Patrick Wilson and Navarro Bowman. He builds around those middle guys and those mics. So he's getting this guy here.
Oh, this is interesting. So, I mean, the best value is defense right now. I mean, depending on how you look at it. So, man, I'll just go with the highest rated or the highest drafted edge at this point and do Chop Robinson from Miami.
I cannot blame you for that.
This feels like a lot of defense for Chargers in the first. I don't know if that'll play out that way.
I forgot about Chop. That was a good pick.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the problem here is, like, I think we have a couple other guys that are, next up on our list that we're ready to go grab here, and we're at the top of the second round, so RJ's going to have some fun choices. Well, yeah. So there we go. The post-draft mock draft. Again, the link to this is in the mock draft post on the message board, so check it out if you're interested. But move on to the other part of the show that people enjoy so much, and that is talking trades. Pull this up. How many trades do we think we had since the last podcast?
I would guess 20.
Was it really that crazy this week?
No,
It wasn't.
more like 12.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, we had some crazy trades, but
Yeah.
So yeah, it was Tuesday night last week that we did the pod, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I traded Fields to Bears, and I had not given up Chase Brown yet. Okay,
my Giants needs an invite.
10 trades. Okay, well, we'll get to
Just
that
in
here.
time
So
to talk trades.
that's what he wants anyway.
Yeah.
Giants only want one thing, and it's disgusting. All right. Trade number 10. Chase Brown for Zay Jones and 226. Got him as part of my breakdown of Justin Fields. Valued him at kind of the 210, 211 range. Feel like the 226 plus Zay made sense for it. So made a deal with the Browns. Hooray.
Yeah, I like it.
Yay!
And then we can probably skip over at 9. That's not really
Yeah, not necessary at all.
No, let's talk about it.
Okay, Bill, can you read it? I don't want to read all that.
Yeah, it's fine. So Broncos gives up 203 this year and 1, 2, 3, 4 firsts next year and a second next year, as well as a third next year for Sam Howell, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Ahmad Gardner, and 226.
That's a lot for a backup quarterback and a cornerback. And some throw-ins.
4 1s, 2 2s, and a 3.
I think it's fine. Justin's probably 3 of those first. TJ's the other one. The rest of the stuff's kind of just moving around to like shore up some value certain places, kind of cover the cost of Howell. I'm sure that somebody could like nitpick it and be like, it might be a third too much or something like that. But I think the majority of the pieces are like properly accounted for.
Yeah. The timing of this was not. What were we saying? Go ahead.
I thought the most interesting part of the trade was Bill instantly extended Sauce to 6 years. I don't think I've ever seen a corner have 6 years in this league.
It's going to be like $1 million, and they're all going like $7 to $8 million now.
Yeah. I agree with it. I
Yeah, I definitely
extended.
get it. That's a lot of cap years.
Yeah,
That's the one problem.
I can agree with that. I extended Sertan to I think 4, but I can understand like not wanting to do 6.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what gets squeezed because I think a lot of us have always had kind of a low budget for corner years of their 100. So if those balloon out from being kind of the 4 or 5 range to the 10 to 15 range, where are we getting those 5 to 10 years from? Is it going to spread out or is it going to be another position?
Right.
All right, then.
Real quick, what were those first? I don't remember the 5 or the 4.
So the first next year were Texans, Vikings, Steelers, Ravens. The second was Vikings. The third was Cowboys.
So Mike
got
gets
the
his
stuff.
pick back. So
Mike gets his pick.
presumably top 3 to 5, we'll see until he decides to buy a team
I don't
during
know.
the draft.
There's a lot of people that want to claim one of those top 5 spots. So.
Yeah.
There are way too many teams tanking to have any.
Dolphins and I are about to have a war that you have never seen, and I am so excited for it.
I absolutely believe that Mike's activity is enough for him to do that if he wanted.
Don't forget about Bears. He's in there too.
I think I might try for negative points.
I love it. Last 2 weeks of the season, Mike drops his whole team, and he's like, I'm only going to get 2 warnings anyway. It's fine.
Mike's next thing is to acquire 5th so he can trade for punters and kickers on their bye weeks.
Damn it, Bill, don't tell people yet.
I will be a willing participant in all of this.
That would be so good.
Dude,
All right, so moving towards
actually
next year.
negative points per season would be ridiculous.
Maybe not first
I don't even
season.
know what it would. I'm pretty sure it would just play the player that didn't play.
Yes. I don't know. That's interesting.
The only way to get the negative points is for that player who gave you the negative to be your only startable option at that position. Otherwise, it'll replace it with a no-show.
I like it.
But if you only have the minimum rostered players,
Again, I'm not that good. 334 for the Ravens, third next year. Pats breaks down Dotson and the 230 for the 202 and the Bills second next year. Then also moves up to 111, 123, 124, and 326. We'll pause there. I feel like, and we were talking about this a little bit pre-pod. Sometimes watching Patriots do his thing, I feel like I'm watching one of those hidden ball tricks. Like, all right, what the hell is it now?
I really like the consolidation effort. I know it hasn't happened yet, I don't think, as far as the deals go, but ending up with 10 to 12 in the first is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Dotson got sold for spot value or just like a low offer. I don't know. It feels good, but I also hate that it was Chiefs that got him. But
yeah, I thought it was cheap on Dotson. I'm not a big McCaffrey fan. I'm assuming that's like part of the maybe loss of Dotson value. But I thought that was a pretty good pickup for Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, he Dotson and what is it, Jameson are kind of in the same boat. They're just like slowly depreciating because they haven't shown us enough.
yeah.
I mean, we know they're super talented, but there has to be a production associated with that talent.
It's true.
But
All right,
yeah,
Bill, you
getting
did the
10
last
through
one, so
12
I'll
is
do-
interesting. Sorry, Mike.
I'm sorry. go ahead.
You want me to read this one too?
No, I'll do this one because you did the
Okay.
last one. Keenan Allen, Zay Jones, Sheldon Rankins, Cleveland Farrell, BJ Ojulari, and Cody Barton going to Bill as he continues to build out his team. And I get to take on a bunch of shitty contracts. Chase Edmonds, Justice Hill, Chase Claypool, Carlos Basham, Troy Dye, Deion Jones, Otis Reese. I get in return as well the 226, the 325, the 328, this year, as well as Denver's first and second next year. So I continue to add picks for next year, and those terrible, terrible picks that nobody wants and should give me all of in the second round this year. And Bill gets to keep building out a team.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's like the first for Keenan Allen, because in theory it's worth, like the value of a late first.
Basically.
2 for BJ, one of the other 2s for Cody Barton, and then like the rest of the picks for like Farrell, Rankins, and
Zay.
Jones. Yeah, it seems fine.
I based it off of his trade bait, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Crazy thing when those of us who say, hey, we'll trade for this, and that's what's offered.
I like it. And when he add it all together, he basically got a cap dump out of it for paying the asked price. You can't ask for anything more. It's a fantastic trade on both parties.
Just want to know why it didn't happen with the first trade at this point.
Oh, because the first trade was literally just to acquire Jefferson. I had no intention of actually like building a team. It was just to hold Jefferson. And then I realized how terrible the tanking was going to be this year, and so many teams were involved. And I was like, yeah, screw it, and went the other direction.
I like
And
it.
it just worked out.
When everybody zigs, you zag.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. All
Good thing
right.
we're all tanking towards this historically good class next year.
There's some pretty solid options.
Oh, that was massive sarcasm on my part, but all right.
I already am so excited for who I'm taking at 101. I can't wait.
Look, we
Hint,
know you're doing trade line. We know.
It's a receiver. 211 goes to Pats for 223 and the Bills second for next year. And Bill continues to add pieces. Zach Moss and Mike Gesicki to Bill for the 204. Bill, do you want to talk about the next trade? I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Do we want to just skip over this one?
What do you guys think?
Out of all the deals I did in the last couple of days, I think this one's my favorite, just value-wise.
No, thank you. Captain Obvious. 101, 224 for 105, 113, and 126. The 101 moves again. I don't think it's going to move again after this. I think this gives Cardinals Caleb. He gets him cost controlled. He, loved having Burrow. He got expensive, and now he gets to have that stud quarterback again, but for 4 years at a decent price. So good on him. Did the trades he needed to do to get in position, and he still has a couple more picks this draft and a shit ton of 25 picks. So while he won't be the 101 because these guys will probably score too many points, he's going to be in the position to add a lot more talent next year too.
He's got a nice core. He's going to have Caleb and AJB to build around and then work off of that. So that's going to be pretty nice for him.
Then Pats put up his price list as well. Panthers was willing to pay it $326 for Daxton Hill. All right.
Cheap.
Yeah. I mean, I know safeties go relatively cheap here, but for a 200-point safety in a solid position in Cincy, I mean, yeah.
You're not getting a 200-point safety at the end of the third round, so that was a snag.
Yep.
Safety to be corner.
All right. Well, moving on to the fun part, post show and trades and all that other stuff. So appreciate you guys listening. Again, let's get active. Let's have fun here. And whenever those snooty commissioners feel like starting the draft, I think we'd be okay with that. TikTok guy.